Hello, my friend. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn English with the extraordinary story of a man who proves that silence can be more powerful than words. He is not a loud man. He does not enjoy being the center of attention. Yet when he speaks, the world listens. When he walks into a scene, eyes follow him. He does not need to raise his voice to make you feel something. And that, my friend, is what makes him so unforgettable. This is the story of Cillian Murphy, a boy from Ireland who once dreamed of being a rock star, a young man who never studied acting in school, and an artist who became one of the most admired actors of our time, a man who plays roles so deeply, so honestly, that we sometimes forget he is acting at all. Join me on a journey through the life of a quiet man who became a legend. Cillian Murphy was born on May 25, 1976 in Douglas, a suburb of Cork City in Southern Ireland. He came from a modest and loving family. His father worked for the Department of Education, and his mother was a French teacher. Books were everywhere in the house. Music played in the background. Education was important, yes, but creativity was in the air. It was a home where thoughts were shared, where imagination was encouraged, and where art was always welcome. From an early age, Cillian was quiet, observant. While other children were loud and playful, he was thoughtful and dreamy. He loved to read. He loved to draw. He would sit for hours, staring out the window, imagining faraway worlds. But there was one thing that truly lit his soul on fire: music. As a teenager, Cillian began playing guitar. He wrote songs, sang with passion, and formed a band with his younger brother, Peaky. The band was called the Sons of Mr. Green Jeans, a strange and quirky name, inspired by a song by Frank Zappa. They played gigs in small clubs and dreamed of making it big. In his heart, Cillian believed he was going to be a rock star. That was his dream. That was his future. Or so he thought. The band even received an offer for a record deal. But there was a problem. The contract asked them to sign away the rights to their music for several years. Cillian, even at a young age, knew that wasn't right. He walked away. Just like that, his dream of becoming a musician faded. But sometimes, when one dream ends, another one quietly begins. Cillian was now in college, studying law at University College Cork, but his heart wasn't in it. He didn't want to be a lawyer. He didn't want to wear suits and sit in offices. He felt lost. Until one night, everything changed. He went to see a play, a stage adaptation of A Clockwork Orange. The moment he saw the actors perform, something inside him clicked. The energy, the emotion, the honesty. It was like lightning in his soul. He left the theater shaking. And in that moment, he made a decision. He wanted to act. He joined the Corcadorca Theatre Company, a small but passionate group in Cork. He had no formal training. He had never studied drama. But he had fire. He had instinct. And most of all, he had those unforgettable eyes, blue as ice, filled with emotion. When he stepped on stage, people could not look away. His early performances caught the attention of directors across Ireland. His breakthrough came in 2001 when he starred in the film Disco Pigs, based on a play he had performed in. He played a troubled teenager, wild and unpredictable, full of pain and energy. His performance was raw, real, almost too real. Suddenly, people started talking about this strange, quiet actor from Cork. Who was he? Where did he come from? In 2002, the world got its answer. Cillian was cast in a film that would change his life, 28 Days Later, directed by Danny Boyle. The film told the story of a man who wakes up in a hospital only to find that the world has been destroyed by a virus. The opening scenes showed Cillian walking alone through the empty streets of London, silent, haunted, lost, and just like that, the world saw what he could do. The movie became a global hit. Cillian's performance was praised by critics everywhere, but instead of running to Hollywood, he returned to smaller roles, to independent films, to quiet characters. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing art. Then a phone call came that would change everything. Christopher Nolan, the director of Memento, The Prestige, and many other brilliant films, asked Cillian to audition for the role of Batman. Cillian was surprised. He didn't see himself as a superhero. He wasn't big. He wasn't loud. But he went to the audition anyway. He didn't get the part. That went to Christian Bale. But Nolan saw something special in him, something dangerous, something mysterious. Instead of casting him as Batman, Nolan offered him the role of the villain, Dr. Jonathan Crane, also known as the Scarecrow. It was a strange, dark character. And it was perfect for Cillian. He played the role with quiet menace, no shouting, no overacting, just cold, calm evil. The audience loved it. Nolan loved it so much, he brought Cillian back for all 3 films in the Dark Knight trilogy, making him the only villain to appear in every movie. Now, everyone knew who Cillian Murphy was. But what did Cillian do next? Did he start going to celebrity parties? Did he move to Los Angeles? He went home, back to Ireland, back to his family, back to the quiet life. Because fame was never his goal. He wanted to act, to disappear into characters, to tell stories, not to become one. Over the next few years, he took on difficult and beautiful roles. In The Wind That Shakes the Barley, he played a man torn apart by war. In Sunshine, he portrayed a physicist trying to save the world. In Breakfast on Pluto, he transformed into a transgender woman looking for love. Each role was different, each one deeper than the last. But in 2013, Cillian was offered a role that would make him a global icon. The role of Tommy Shelby in Peaky Blinders. Set in Birmingham, England after World War I, Peaky Blinders told the story of a gang of criminals who built an empire, and at the center of it all was Tommy. Cillian played him with perfect control. Sharp suits, sharp words, a cigarette always burning, his voice soft, almost a whisper, but his presence was thunder. Tommy Shelby became one of the most iconic characters in television history. People around the world copied his haircut, his fashion, his style. But no one could copy his soul. That belonged to Cillian Murphy, and only him. Peaky Blinders ran for 6 seasons, each one darker, deeper, more emotional. Fans cried, fans cheered, and through it all, Cillian stayed focused. No interviews, no red carpets, just the work, just the art. And then came the moment that would define his career. Christopher Nolan called again. He wanted Cillian to play the lead in Oppenheimer, a film about J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. It was the role of a lifetime. Cillian threw himself into it. He read books, watched documentaries, lost weight, barely ate, barely slept. He let Oppenheimer enter his mind and take over. When the film came out, people were speechless. His performance was haunting, brilliant, a man who helped destroy the world and could never forgive himself. In 2024, Cillian Murphy won the Academy Award for Best Actor. He stood on stage, holding the Oscar in his hand, and said, I'm a very proud Irishman standing here tonight. That was it. No long speech, no dramatic gestures, just quiet pride, just Cillian. Even now, he avoids the spotlight. He lives in Dublin with his wife and children. He takes the train. He cooks. He reads. He listens to music. He is as he always was. A simple man with extraordinary talent. Cillian Murphy has taught us something important. That you don't have to be loud to be powerful. That silence can be strong. That mystery can be magnetic. And that the best actors are the ones who disappear completely, so their characters can live. So, my friend, what have we learned from Cillian's journey? We've learned that true strength is often quiet, that staying true to yourself is more valuable than chasing fame. That art is not about noise, it's about truth. Cillian Murphy shows us that you can be gentle and still be great, that you can speak softly and still be heard by millions. And that perhaps is the greatest lesson of all. Thank you, my friend, for listening to this story. If you enjoyed learning English with Cillian Murphy's inspiring journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. Tell me in the comments, which part of his story touched your heart? Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, your quiet voice has power.